I don't want this to feel like something you have to listen to. You can let it exist in the background while you rest, while you think, or while you do nothing at all. This is just a moment to slow things down. If this is your first time here, hey, this is your boy, my boy. I talk sometimes about things we don't always say out loud. That's all. So, you know, someone once said something to me that stuck in my mind, and I never forgot that. They said, sometimes the pain isn't that you were hurt, it's realizing you were the one who caused it. And I remember just sitting there thinking, yeah, that's exactly it. Because don't you think that kind of pain feels different? I mean, it's not loud, it's doesn't explode, it just stays. And we don't really talk about that one, do we? Because when you are the one who messed up, there is no clean story to tell, no villain, no ending. Just this slow realization that creeps in over time. Have you felt that before? That moment when something just clicks and suddenly you see things the way they actually were. The things you ignored when you should have prioritized them. A lot of us were treated right, not perfectly. But honestly, isn't it strange that kind of love is the easiest to mishandle? I mean, because when love is calm, you don't feel like you have to protect it. You assume it will stay. And tell me, haven't we all thought this at some point? Exactly. Most people didn't wake up waiting to hurt anyone. That matters. This isn't about bad intentions, it's about the stuff we didn't look at closely enough. The habits, the blind spots, the way comfort slowly turns into carelessness without us even noticing. Does that sound familiar to you somehow? Let me know. Because peace can be misleading. When something feels safe, we stop being careful. Not suddenly, just slowly. We stop checking in. We stop really listening. We tell ourselves, it's fine, everything is fine, and we move on. It usually starts with small, small things, right? Maybe not for you, but for them. Being distracted when someone is opening up, replying, but not really hearing them, choosing what's easy instead of what's connecting. Nothing dramatic, nothing that looks like damage, but you and I both know those things add up. And here is the part people don't like, which is admitting you can do everything except the obvious wrong things, right? You can never cheat. Of course, you can never cheat. Never shout, never walk away suddenly and still hurting someone deeply. Because harm doesn't need to be loud to be real, don't you think? Neglect is quiet, it doesn't announce itself. It's like, oh, I will get it later. They already know I care. It's not that serious. Until one day it is. And you don't see it coming. The saddest part. A lot of us didn't realize we were becoming distant. We thought we were just tired, overwhelmed, trying to survive on our own stuff. And the person behind us kept understanding, kept adjusting, kept waiting, and kept loving until understanding turned into exhaustion. And here is a hard question. Have you ever noticed how patience feels endless when you are not the one spending it? Somewhere along the way, we learned to think love meant intensity. Big emotions, high highs, low lows, but what about real love? Real love is mostly repetition, showing up, being consistent, being emotionally available, even when you don't need still. And because that kind of love doesn't scream, it's, it gets overlooked. There is something deeply uncomfortable about realizing you were loved well and still didn't love well in return because you can't hide behind confusion anymore. You can't say they didn't treat me right because they did, and the clarity hurts. A lot of people only sees this clarity after the other person changes, not suddenly. They grow quieter, less expressive, less hopeful, and instead of asking what's wrong, we assume everything is okay. Silence feels peaceful until you realize it isn't. Sometimes silence is just someone giving up. There is a moment many of us recognize too late. The moment they stop explaining, stop arguing, stop asking for reassurance. And if you have seen that moment, you know what usually comes next. They have already decided. Some people leave loudly, but most don't. They leave internally first, and by the time it becomes visible, my friend, it's already over. And the regret that follows, it's not the same as heartbreak. Heartbreak hurts because you miss someone. This hurts because you understand. A lot of us replay memories, not the fights, not the dramatic scenes, the small moments, the ones where a different choice would have changed everything. Listening instead of defending, being softer instead of distant, being present instead of being distracted, and those memories hurt more and more and more because they were fixable, still we didn't. There is a special kind of grief that comes from knowing the loss didn't have to happen, and that grief doesn't rush, it's within you. Most people try to explain themselves at first, to justify, to add context, but eventually, not you but us realize something important. Explanations don't undo impact. Understanding often comes after the door has already been closed. This isn't about punishing ourselves, it's about noticing patterns, about asking, why did I act that way? Instead of immediately defending it. There is a different kind of hatred for us starts to grow inside instant. A lot of us wasn't ready for the kind of love we received. Not because we didn't want it, but because we didn't know how to take care of something healthy. We were used to chaos, distance, uncertainty, peace felt familiar, and when peace feels unfamiliar, we sometimes sabotage it without realizing we are. We just don't know because we never kept ourselves on their place or never tried to understand them or kept our foot on their shoes. Some people learn this lesson early, others only after losing someone who genuinely care for them realizes. Neither makes you a bad person, but one teaches you sooner. Growth usually begins when we sit with discomfort instead of running from it. When we say, I could have done better without turning it into self hate, that balance is hard. Most people fall into one extreme or the other, but real accountability lives in the middle. If you're listening to this and it feels uncomfortable, that doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means you are aware, and awareness is where change starts. However, I want to know, how are you feeling right now, by the way? You don't have to answer right now. Take a deep breath, just look into yourself. And if you are with someone right now who treats you gently, this isn't meant to scare you. It's just a reminder. Love needs attention, even when it feels stable. Especially then, because the people who treat you right usually ask for the least, and that's what makes them easy to overlook. Some lessons arrive wrapped in loss. You don't get to skip them. You just carry them forward and try to be more careful next time, more present, more intentional. Sometimes the most important change doesn't happen for the person you lost, it happens for the person you haven't met yet, and that matters too. There is no big ending here, no final answer, just a quiet understanding that love deserves a care even when it feels safe. If this felt like it was speaking with you, then you are not alone. A lot of us are sitting with the same thoughts. Thanks for being here. And if you feel like it, let me know. How are you feeling? How are you doing right now? I'm listening. So, before this ends, I just want you to know, take things one step at a time, at your pace. I'm glad you are here. Take it slow. That's all. Well, I will stop talking now. Take care. Again, thanks for listening. I hope you all realize every line I meant. See you soon. Bye bye.